Movies and Attractive Men podcast, 100 before 10. I'm an
100
attractive
before
man.
10.
That's an
I
attractive
am
man.
very
If
attractive.
you would like to
And
know,
we know movies.
if you would like to know one of or a piece of what 100 before 10 means, look it up on Urban Dictionary.
It has been since published,
Yeah,
a long time coming. I waited a month and it got published. I sent it out June 6th is when I sent it out, and it got published July 6th. Exactly 1 month review. Urban Dictionary was like, they're attractive. They know movies. We're going to publish it. Word for word, Urban Dictionary. That's what they said. Not my words.
To date the video, this is the day that we're recording this on the day that the Mad Max video came out. Well, whatever.
Hey,
You're good.
oh well.
This will be fine. We're talking about
don't mind me. I'm eating Chipotle. So
yeah, he's a fat, attractive man, but
still attractive in no movies.
So Despicable Me 4 came out. So we're gonna rank them, all of them, and the Minions movies. So I don't know if you want to go first, you want me to go first, then we can fight. That went pretty well on Bad Boys.
No,
we do.
Tremendous. Absolutely really, tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that was one of our better ones.
I'll go first. Yeah, I feel like Despicable Me. All of these movies are feel good movies. Good, funny movies. Steve Carell is just being Steve Carell, which is hilarious. Love Steve Carell. All right, but I'm gonna give you all my ranking right off the bat. There's 6 movies.
There's 6.
Number 6 spot. It pains me to do this because I dressed up. I put on a tux when I saw this movie, and I remember. But number 6 is The Rise of Gru. I know. Number 6 is The Rise of Gru. It pained me to do this, but I dressed up in a tuxedo. Number 5, we have the original Minion movie. Number 4, Despicable Me 4. Then we went 3, 2, 1, all the way back up to 1.
Damn. They're getting released,
I know.
They got worse the more they went on. Or I guess not. Despicable Me 4 just came out.
Yeah. For me, it was very. I laughed at every single movie. For me, the reason that the Minion movies are at the bottom, just because there wasn't enough Steve Carell in it. I felt like the Minion movie was more original than The Rise of Gru. The Rise of Gru was just like, oh, here we go again. It's Steve Carell, but it's more Minion based. And I was like, okay, if you're gonna have Steve Carell in a movie, I would like to see him majority of the movie. And that's the only reason why I have a Despicable Me movie.
Well, the best part of the first movie was when he showed up at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think Minions was more original for me with the story than the Rise of Gru was. So that's why I had Minions slightly ahead. Slightly, because I stopped. Again, I enjoyed every movie. It wasn't hard to watch. It was an easy watch. I put it on. I laughed. It was good, But I just want more Steve Carell, The reason I went 1, 2, 3, 4 was very simple. First one is actually one of the best animated comedies there is. I mean, when you talk about, is it Pixar, right? It's Pixar?
Illumination.
Illumination.
Illumination made a good one, and then they fumbled the rest of them.
Probably the best, Illumination!
Yeah.
Probably the best one, Illumination movie, or at least it's up.
Not that that's saying much, but it is really good.
It's
Illumination's
really
not my
good.
favorite movie studio.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
But Despicable Me, the reason that this franchise is so successful is because of the first movie. It was so good, Second one, it was very similar, and it was still a good story, still progressing. Yeah. Third and fourth one, I'm like, all right, you want to make some money. I get it, and there's not too much more you can do. The reason why I have 3 ahead of 4, only thing.
I think I know what it is.
The villain.
Yep.
The villain is the only thing. Only reason 3 is ahead of 4. I loved 4. I laughed more in 4, I think. Maybe it's recency. I don't know if I laughed more in 4 or not, but I really like 4. And I was thinking about it. I was like, did I like that better than 3? And then I watched 3 and then watched 4 and then watched 3 again. And then I'm like, okay, that villain is he's the dad in South Park, I think. Or he's the South Park voice, something like that. I think you got to look it up. I think I'm right. But that villain is so funny. He's probably the funniest character in all of the Despicable Me universe. The second funniest character behind Gru, in my opinion. He's up there. He's at least top 3. But that villain, oh my God, the dance battle, that was just like, all right, this is too funny. And it was 3 and 4 very close. I think 2 for me is an easy 2. It's not as good as Despicable Me, but the story's still good. And I mean, it's still funny. So for me, it wasn't hard to say first one's number one, second one's number two. The harder part was 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think 3, 4 were close. I think 5, 6 were close. But I think the Despicable Me movies are better, in my opinion, than the Minions movie just because of Steve Carell.
Yeah,
And then the characters.
yeah, I agree. I don't like our rankings are actually pretty similar. In last place, actually, I'll talk about them together. In the last two places, I also had the Minions movies. I'm not positive to which one I'd put on top of the other one.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not
pretty
really
similar.
I'm not really a giant fan of either of them.
Yeah.
I like what I like about the Despicable Me movies is we get Gru and we get the girls, we get his family, we get a pretty like hyped up villain that's usually pretty fun in all of them.
Mhm.
And then the minions are kind of in the background doing shit, and we get some fun scenes with them. When it's all about the minions, I listen. They're fine, I guess. I wouldn't like turn it off if someone turned them on, but I'm just like,
Mhm.
okay, that's. And also like some of the shit is like a little tone deaf. Like these are kids movies, right? And the start of the first Minions movie is like, oh, they find a boss they like, and then he dies, and then they find someone else they like, and then they die, and then they find someone else,
Yep.
and then they die. I was like, this is a fucking kids movie. Like,
I
are you
know,
serious, guys?
but I was dying laughing at that. The
I was
intro was.
laughing. It was funny.
I think the intro is the best part of that movie. I really do.
Yeah.
That was the funniest part because it's a T-Rex to Napoleon. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's
Oh my
funny.
god.
It's definitely
Yeah.
funny, but I'm like, what? It's like when I don't know if you saw that movie from a while ago. It's a garbage movie, but there's a movie about a boss lady who becomes a girl and has to go to school and things like her teacher's hot and starts hitting on the teacher like an 11-year-old girl. And it's funny, but again, I was like, this is like weird, bro.
Yeah.
In fourth place, I actually have in fourth and third, I have in fourth Despicable Me 3, and then in third, I have Despicable Me 4. I remember watching Despicable Me 3 with my dad. And I remember him dying laughing at the when Gru and Drew swap and like are dressed as each other, pretending to be each other. He was absolutely losing his mind.
Mm.
I like it a lot. The one thing that bugs me about 3 is that we always knew the minions were big and everyone loved the minions and they kind of get their own thing. They're now you have the story of the movie and then the minions doing shit over here. And I could forgive it in 1 and 2 because they were wrapped up in the story, but now they're just completely doing something else. And also the sequences for the minions aren't as good as in the other movies.
Mm.
Like there's one
Yeah.
really good one where they're like doing West Side Story and they're in prison doing like the snap thing. That one's pretty funny. But I'm not a giant fan.
That one was really funny.
That one was good. I remember
Yeah.
that one. I know people like whatever his name is, Balthazar Brat as the 80s villain, and I do too. I think he's really funny. I like him a lot. It wasn't enough to like propel him over. And granted, I might watch these again and have 3 ahead of 4. It might be recency bias. It might also be because when I watched 3 it was on my computer and when I saw 4 it was on the big screen.
Yeah.
And I think 3 is probably objectively a better movie. But when I saw 4, I was like, this is a lot of fun. This brings me back.
I like the story better in 4, but I think the characters were better in 3. That's why I
3
would
is
put
good. There's not much of a story in 4, which is why like I understand if you don't like the Despicable Me characters, how like watching 4 would make you want to just end your life. Because you kind of have your opening and then shit just for like 10 minutes and then shit just kind of happens for like 70 minutes. And then we get the battle at the end and the stuff that's happening in the middle is funny and it's really charming. And the thing that got the biggest laugh out of me was when the baby popped the balloon and made Bruce swerve the car. I thought that was hysterical. And I really like that ending sequence where they're singing "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." I was like totally bouncing along to that one.
But that almost propelled it over for me when like they brought back all the characters and all the villains. I was like, okay, that is really cool.
Yeah.
It was just Balthazar, man. Like that's probably the best villain in this whole
so
universe.
many like really corny jokes in the middle of it.
Dude, I kept replaying. Haley got mad at me because I kept restarting so I could just see the moonwalk on the water. Because I was just like, that was just cracking me up.
He's got like toys and bubble gum and shit.
He was ready to steal the diamond, but he took a break on the water with fins. It was just really funny.
It's so good. 4, and I liked 4. And also you get more time with Gru and the girls, and everyone gets good lines here.
Yeah.
his wife doesn't have as much good stuff to do. But and also the minions are when they're having their bits, they're more interacting with Gru now. They still feel totally obligatory. They still feel like we
Yeah.
walk in here with minions. Guys, stay on task. Oh, they found a fucking giant jelly thing. Oh, this is gonna be our latest like minion little clip that we're gonna get. Like
Yeah.
there's very clearly a quota for how many like cute minions moments you have to have in these movies. But now they're part of like what Gru is doing. Like
Mhm.
the minion is the ref in tennis, which I love. No, Ben loves so much.
Oh, that was
Uh,
no. I was actually laughing at that part because he was like, I was like, oh, Gru's about to be so bad, and I'm gonna be like irritated how bad he will be. And
yep.
then the menu's like, no, no. He
Red
kept blowing the
card.
whistle, football, foot, and he's like, what are we doing? And I was dying up. That probably made me laugh the most.
That was so good.
Yeah.
I saw that, immediately thought of you. Like Ben was going ape shit over challengers. This is probably gonna make him. He's gonna like this.
This was funny because it was actually making fun of them not knowing tennis. You know, they
Yeah.
didn't pretend to know tennis. Zendaya.
Oh fuck her. We don't like her. Fucking
Oh, she doesn't
Zendaya.
know tennis.
She doesn't know
And
movies
definitely
either.
doesn't know
No
movies.
movies.
Oh my god.
And she's not very attractive.
Hey, we can
Okay.
stop
All
this.
right. All right.
We're getting down ahead.
In second place, I have Despicable Me 2. I'm not positive how much we should have had a million sequels to these movies. Because like the first one kind of wraps itself up pretty good, and I'll get to that in a second. But the second one is understanding that we just want to see more of characters, more of Steve Carell having fun, more of them bouncing
Mhm.
around, and introduce like the AVL Anti-Villain League. It's another reason for us to go back and forth and have these kind of fun interactions. And
I thought you could have ended at, or you could have combined 3 and 4. Like, you know, Minions movies didn't need to happen, but they happened. Oh well.
yeah,
But like second one needed to happen because you know you're going from okay, Gru being a dad to Gru finding love to Gru having his own kid. Combine 3 and 4, he has his own kid.
sure,
You
yeah,
can have the Balthazar character, you know. But I did think I thought 2 needed to happen
yeah.
just because of how good 1 was. You probably could have combined 3 and
I
4.
guess. Two is really good. Two is very focused on having fun. It's very much like
Mm-hmm.
two is very, these aren't similar movies at all, but it's very similar to Deadpool 2. These dynamics, because Deadpool 1 is a very good story, and Deadpool 2 is just throwing entertainment at the screen. They're making a
Yeah,
million jokes, they've got a million gags, the minions are involved, they're right there in the middle of the story. And all the minion sequences are, I was gonna say more energy, but it's not the right term. They have like more personality. They're more fun. All of them made me want to bounce in my chair and like really get into it.
yeah. My
And the
favorite
movie,
part, the funniest part. Bottom, bottom, funniest part. It was
Bottom,
perfect. It was just so like bottom.
yeah, you have a villain like this called El Macho. He flew
Mm-hmm.
riding two sharks into a volcano. Like the movie knows how silly it is. Like
Yeah.
literally at the end, Dr. Defario goes, "I'm all for a scheme for taking over the world, but mess with my homies and you're gonna get fucked."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you get a lot of really fun stuff going on in two. I like two a lot. It would probably be the one I'd want to rewatch the most, honestly. Two, I got a big kick out of. Again, it's just so full of energy. It's so much fun. It's so ridiculous. This is where Lucy gets all her best lines. Actually, in three, she has a really good line about she has a really good moment with Margot about that fucking kid with the cheese. That was really good.
That was funny. That was
That was
funny.
that was awesome. But yeah, the first one in first by a lot is the first Despicable Me.
Mm-hmm.
It you disagree, you're wrong. Quickly.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a totally different thing. It's a really good movie, and it's got all the. I'm kind of upset that it works as well as it does because it taught Illumination a bad lesson because it is a movie with like body humor and a bunch of pop music, but it actually works really well. It's about Gru and him as a villain and trying to find fulfillment and kind of falling in love with these girls and discovering something greater, which is actually pretty potent. It works really well as a story. It works really well. You get a bunch of cool like villain shit. You get your shrink ray, freeze ray, all that shit. And me and Ben are like, we're kind of at the end of that generation, but like we're the generation where for us, these movies have so many things in them that are like fucking iconic. Vector
Uh-huh.
is iconic.
Yeah.
Like Gru sitting on the toilet is iconic. Like blowing up the fucking spaceship to win the unicorn, punching the shark
Yeah.
out of the air. Like there's so much shit in this movie that we're just like, this is just
Turning the astronaut suit pink, like that is an underrated moment that was so funny.
that was. And then they're like recital, and he's like, I'm not a little girl. It's like, bro, you're in a big space suit. Yeah, and
Mhm.
also because there are a lot of jokes in the first Despicable Me, but there's not as much as the other ones, and because they got kind of a Winter Soldier effect because we're not so focused on making jokes. When we do make jokes, they're fucking funny. Like what
I'll stuff you all with the crust.
I forgot about that one. The one that that made me laugh the most, and I totally forgot about was, oh fuck my phone. The one that made me laugh the most that I totally forgot about was when they were fucking making fun of Vector's outfit and saying he was wearing pajamas. Um, yeah, it's all good. It's all the minions are there. They're cute. They're great. They do their best work in this movie. You get the biggest emotional punches in this movie. Like
hold on,
everything
I'm
in this
thinking
movie
of
is the best of all of them. So I could not put it in first.
I use it for activities like sleeping. They're not pajamas.
Pajamas.
That was so funny.
That killed me.
It was too
That
perfect.
that
It was
was
yeah.
too good.
Mm-hmm.
I like and like a crazy, and it's all again like I remember the plot the most of the first one. It's hard and it sticks out. It's like we're gonna steal the moon. It's like I
Yeah.
remember that. I could tell you the plots of all the other ones, but I'd have to think about it. And like
Mm-hmm.
all the first one's like, oh, he stole the moon.
It's a very easy plot, you know. That's what the other ones are like. Oh, we're gonna create the AVL, and like you get like I get there's only so much you can do. But the first one, he's like, all right, I'm gonna try to become the best
Yeah,
villain of all time.
it's so
You
like
know,
put
oh, there's
together.
another
Yeah,
guy that's a better villain. Oh, I'm gonna turn good because I realize I don't really care about being the best villain of all time
yeah,
anymore.
just cares
I'm
about
gonna
the
be a dad.
girls. Yeah,
Boom. Like
exactly.
you know.
It also like does a great job of like showing how like you're a coach, so you probably know this better than most people. Like kids can be the best, they can also be the fucking worst. Kids can freeze ray you in front of the bank and like make you look like a jackass, and you don't get your loan, and you're fucked. They can. You also
Oh
get
yeah.
like a moment where like you blow up that spaceship and win that unicorn for them, and it's just you feel like you're on top of the fucking world.
Yeah.
Um, it's
No, I had
crazy.
we had our championship meet after party, and I was swimming in the water, but every kid wanted to be a part of tackling me, so they were like holding me underwater, grabbing my neck, and I was like, "You son of," and I was just like stiff arm, drown.
Whoa.
I need to breathe. I need to breathe because I was underwater and I had 20 kids on top of
Yeah.
me. I was like, "All right, get the fuck off. I need to breathe." You know? Oh my god. But no, yeah, it's 100% right. You're 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just a really good. I would not be upset. There are like some garbage kids movies that come out these days. These are pretty consistently. I mean, listen, 3, 4, either of the Minions movies. I would not describe those as good movies, but
Mm-hmm.
I would be plenty happy to put those on because there's just so much crap that kids watch these days. That I'm just like, these are good. These are fun. They're harmless. I would play this for a lot of them. I don't think I'm trying to decide if I like Despicable Me 4 more than Garfield or not. Uh, but I'm not sure.
I think just as entertainment value, I think I like Garfield more.
I like them
But
both.
yeah, Despicable Me had more of a foundation. I think Garfield kind of just said, "Hey, we're just gonna make this Garfield," and like Chris Pratt took, and that's exactly what happened. You know, Despicable
Yeah,
Me is probably a better story in a movie because it was
yeah.
a stupid story, but it was hilarious. You know, and
I'm
that's
like
why
very
like
connected to the Despicable Me characters as a thing. It was like
I
I
know
like
it's
these
already
guys. I like
established that.
spending
You
time with
know,
these.
yeah,
I will say for
but
whatever reason, like it really had a bit of a punch at the end where I was like, oh, like there was a
yeah,
moment where he was like hanging off the edge, and the kid's like, who turned into a cockroach, was like, he's gonna die, and Drew
yeah.
goes, it's okay, buddy, Daddy loves you. And I was like,
Yeah. I was like
all
that.
right,
I wasn't ready
yeah,
for
all
this.
right.
This is not the movie for this. What are we
I
doing?
was like, that's a
Yeah.
weird tone shift. I mean, like, I don't think that belongs in this movie at all, but okay.
Yeah.
I do think that, let me make my, like, this is my second or third fucking superhero movie analogy, but it is, again, nowhere near the same caliber of movie, but you do have a situation kind of like The Dark Knight, where Christopher Nolan puts all of it into The Dark Knight, makes a stellar movie that everyone loves, and then they're like, okay, and we're going to make another one. And he's like,
Yeah.
I knew I was making another one. I might have done some shit differently.
Hey, just put in the title. Chad compares Despicable Me forward to Dark Knight.
Yeah, Despicable Me 4 is better than
Just
The
put
Dark
that in the
Knight.
title.
Yeah, Despicable Me 4 is better than The Dark Knight.
Oh my God. I'm
It's like
clipping it.
the
Clip
new
it.
one
Clip it.
is
Clip it.
Flip It. Uh, Clips. Oh my god, I got so much work to do on this editing shit. Um, leave that in. Leave that in. Um, I Yeah, well, like the first one wraps itself up really well, and they made a second movie, and I was like, "What are you gonna do though?" Like, there's not really they knew that. They were just
Yeah,
like, "Despicable Me 2 is just having a party. We're just having a party.
yeah.
We're having a fun time." Uh, and then 3, they tried to do something similar. 4, it's the same shit. There's nothing
They
really to
keep.
these movies
I
after
will say
1. I'm
that
not gonna lie.
they keep adding characters, which is,
Yeah,
I mean, you have to, like two was his future wife, 3 was his brother,
she's good.
4
He's
4
okay.
was his son, his son was cracked
Yeah,
me up.
his
But
son is
I
good.
wanted Drew to be in the fourth one. I really did, because Drew's a funny character. It's
Drew,
just like
what? Yeah, Drew had some good
it's a good
lines.
moments. The intro was like one of the funniest parts of the movie because he was just like, "Oh, my brother," and then takes off his hat and his hair, and he's just like, "What?
Wow.
He's got hair." I remember just
Yeah.
laughing in the theater. Like, that's just so funny. But yeah,
Okay, so
recap. Every
recap.
single movie is
Ben is
funny.
wrong, and 4 is better than
Chad
3.
likes Despicable Me better than Dark Knight.
I
Clip it.
didn't not say that. 4 is better
Hey,
than
roll the
3.
tape. Roll the tape. Roll
4
the
is better
tape.
than 3. 4 is better than 3. So fuck
He
you.
said Despicable Me 4 is better than Dark Knight. Roll the tape.
Whoa,
Play
whoa,
back.
whoa, whoa, whoa. I did not say Despicable Me 4 is better than the Dark. Oh fuck, I just said.
All right. Quiet
All right,
place. Quiet place.
quiet. Okay, hold on. Let me reset this shit.